in January. It's going to be part 2 of this. Don't worry, we're not expecting all you guys to come for it. But we're, in theory, it's going to be the part 2 of the storyline, and then probably part 3 sometime in the spring. We're going to be doing it up in Georgia. But basically, backstory for those guys that saw it, little like Jericho, little like Twilight 2000. Long story short, U.S. got whacked by a sneak attack. Iran basically had these EMP weapons. Detonated over Chicago, New York, LA, completely destroyed the communications and power infrastructure of the U.S. Essentially, what you had happen after these things detonated when the pulse started radiating through through the grid. You almost have like the Hurricane Katrina effect almost across the entire United States. The country, by and large, has been without power and safe water for almost 5-6 months. Government's completely fractionalized. The military and CIA accused the civilian government of not doing enough to protect against the threat, said that it was unfit to rule and they were taking over for the emergency situation. They were forced out of D.C., set up base out of Raven Rock in Pennsylvania. Basically, you have the military government and the civilian government that are vying for control of the U.S., but what's left of America at this point is so torn up, it's like, who's in charge of anything at this point? California and Texas have splintered off to make independent republics. Also, Georgia and the Carolinas have splintered off to form New America, kind of an extremist America for Americans, kind of government. The governor of Florida is trying to remain loyal to the civilian government based out of D.C. Although in northern Florida, you've got a lot of civilians there that are somewhat sympathetic to the New America cause. Although the governor is trying to remain loyal. What we're basically starting the action is that basically a soldier out of MacDill Air Force Base has stolen a SATM, a backpack nuke, out of the SOCOM arsenal with the intent to sell it to New America. He's got the backpack nuke and he's trying to hightail it across Florida to get across the border into Georgia. The civilian government and military government are acting quick. Military government to get its hands back on the nuke. Civilian government, because they don't want this thing flying around, obviously. What's happened, though, all of a sudden, New America forces have crossed the border into Florida. You know, supposedly they're saying officially to protect the rights of Americans who want to be part of New America and are being oppressed by the civilian and military governments. And of course, in reality, they're trying to get troops into Florida also to intercept that nuclear weapon as well. Now, some of the factions we've got. Again, Woodland and Marpat are representing our New America forces. And again, I've mentioned a couple New America guys. I'm going to need one New America soldier for a rabbit mission, but I'll come see me after I finish the briefing. Military government. MilGov forces are represented in Multicam. Multicam troops are representing military government forces. When we start, as we start to move out on the field, our New America troops, I'm going to have New America start in the northeast corner, the railroad tower. I think, Samson Farms truck stop, where New America forces are based up in the northeast corner. Military government forces, we're going to start you out of the northern fire base, which is representing a water treatment plant. The CivGov forces are several uniforms. We've got ACU representing Florida National Guard. We've got Black representing local law enforcement, and also the khaki is representing local sheriffs and state troopers. And we also have some guys running an OD that are representing the Department of Energy Nuclear Emergency Search Teams. Now collectively, those teams fall under the civilian government. Basically, it's easy enough to keep track of. Basically, if you're Marpat or Woodland, you're New America. If you're Multicam, you're MilGov, and basically everybody else is representing the civilian government, kind of the medley of forces and law enforcement. What I'm going to do is the National Guard and the police forces, I think I'm just going to start every